injustice! Stop this injustice! Treatment for Marcus! Treatment for Marcus! Mayday murderers! Do your job! Do your job! Do your job! Do your job! Justice for Marcus! Justice for Marcus! Justice for Marcus! Justice for Marcus! Please treat Marcus! Talk to his family! Talk to his family! Talk to his family! Talk to his family! Justice for Marcus! Justice for Marcus! Justice for Marcus! Justice for Marcus! Let Marcus live! 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 Justice for Marcus! Justice for Marcus! Please save Marcus! Please save Marcus! Please treat Marcus! Please treat Marcus!
We want answers!
We want answers!
We want answers!
We want answers!
Justice for Marcus!
Justice for Marcus!
Treatment for Marcus!
Treatment for Marcus!
Justice for Marcus!
Justice for Marcus!
Treatment for Marcus!
Treatment for Marcus! Mayday murderers!
Mayday murderers!
Mayday murderers!
I felt really compelled to support. I just kind of feel like in the community that could have been my brother, your brother, sister, my family members go to hospital, and I would want them to be treated until, God forbid, the very end. That's the least that any hospital could do, so I just wanted to really support the cause. My friend's father was admitted to hospital and they admitted that they couldn't treat him, so they moved him elsewhere, and I just think if you know you can't treat him or you don't have the facilities or whatever it is, just move him, give him that chance, because the fact that he's still alive means that there's still a chance that he can be treated. So I've just been compelled to support. I don't know Marcus personally, I don't know the family personally, but if this was me in his position, I would want this support. I'd want people to rally around me and my friends and to help me. So I just felt really compelled just to help and support and to get a voice. I kind of believe that when these things happen, or if someone's child is stabbed or hurt or anything, we don't say anything, but when it's our own, we want people to say anything. So just trying to break the cycle. If we can all come together peacefully and do something, then we should. So that's why I've been here from Wednesday, Thursday, and then today, just to support.
Had any bad experiences with Mayday Hospital?
Mayday, I've been here once and they just sent me home with paracetamol, which
That's
didn't
a pattern
help.
what we've been told a lot of, that they just send people home or you're here for like 4 hours waiting.
Basically. I mean, I don't live in the Croydon area, but when I have been ill, I wouldn't come here. It's had a bad reputation for years and it's renowned for its reputation. So I would avoid Mayday Hospital, and the fact that they're just refusing to treat, if they don't want to treat him, then, you know, discharge him, then let the family do what they need to do to help him. It's not rocket science. I mean, we do pay a lot of taxes for the NHS, and I just don't think that they're doing their jobs at the moment at all. He's sitting there, he's developed 2 infections whilst being in hospital, and they're not doing anything. They're refusing to treat him. He said, I think his last words were before he couldn't speak, was that he wanted to be resuscitated if his heart stopped. They just, out of respect for a human being, you should honour that. So I don't understand their decision making. I'm not too sure of their guidelines, but I really think that they should just do everything they can, and if he passes away, then at least they know they've done everything that they could have done. And at this point in time, it doesn't seem that way. They're lying to the press, saying that, you know, they're doing certain things, and they're not talking to the family. The family are lovely people, they're not violent, they're peaceful people, and they just want what's best for their son, their brother, cousin, and I just believe anyone is entitled to that.
So we're here to protest, peaceful protest, to basically inform everyone that the hospital's lying. Whilst we're undergoing meetings, confidentiality, they are breaching our data protection rights online whilst we're in meetings. I've instructed lawyers now, so the hospital's under pressure. They've lodged an application under court. Again, overwhelmed with the response. I set the campaign up. This is the fourth day, and we've managed to receive nearly 25,000 signatures for his petition. As I stated before, and I reiterate it again, Marcus has said that he wanted to be resuscitated before he was able not to speak, and we are basically just making sure that his rights are communicated. He's allowed his human rights. The first article is right to life. and will ensure, and I will continue to keep fighting to ensure that he has his right to life. So our first thing, we want him moved, we want him treated. Again, it's a lie, the fact that they can say that they've allowed me and my sister access. The first meeting that we had the day before yesterday was that my sister Tanika can go in and I must be nowhere around the vicinity, and that she should be accompanied by security and police. Yesterday, the head of security asked me what my proposal was. My proposal was to say that we don't want restrictions on who can visit, for how long, and without security and police. We're not criminals who've committed no crime, and we just don't agree with what they're saying. I think they're disgusting. I think they should be shut down, and I'll still continue to fight. So that's what my brother would have wanted. He's my younger brother, I'm 29, raised him, and yeah, I just got his back all the way. He's been in here since last week Tuesday. He contracted the bug on the third day. They informed us on the Sunday. Again, the reason why we're banned is because some heated words got exchanged. I mean, it's only natural that someone who's got their loved one in hospital, who's contracted 2 bugs, one in his chest, one in his urine, from a hospital, that we're going to be upset. So my sister got up to leave the room. The consultant was frightened, said we intimidated him by getting up and charging towards him. No one never got hurt, no one never got touched. The police were called. Again, they were one of the police staff was very disrespectful. I threatened to report him to the IPCC. I was given a formal apology. I don't understand why we're still banned.
What it is, they're trying to exercise their authority, thinking they've got these authority, but they have not got authority over people's lives or anything like that. I don't know who they think they are. I don't know. Honestly, I'm really enraged by them, honestly, because I just feel like I feel helpless. All of us feel helpless. If we are ill or we fall ill, we have not got nowhere to go where we know there's going to be proper treatment and care. So I don't know who Mayday. It's not Croydon. They called it Croydon University Hospital to try and cover up Mayday. But there's been a historical. There's a whole list of historical terrible things that's happened in this hospital. It needs to get shut down. I don't know who they think they are, thinking they can stop someone from moving to a better hospital to get proper treatment. I'd love to know who is this person that's in charge that feels they can do this, because they can't do this and they won't get away with this.
Marcus has been in hospital since last week Tuesday, this hospital, and he has a neurology issue. A neurologist hasn't even assessed him. How can that be so?
What is this? Where's our tax money going to? That's what I want to know.
You get sent to a hospital to get treatment.
Thank you.
Regardless of what it is. If they can't treat you here, they should move you from here.
What's annoying though is that they're telling compulsive lies, and before they've even telling the family anything,
they have to cover
and they're putting
themselves
stuff
up.
on
This is ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
It's so wrong. It's so wrong.
People,
honestly.
you come to hospital to get treatment, you should get treated. Regardless, whatever condition, if you can't get treated here, then you should be moved. End of. And no family should be stopped, whatever, regardless. Don't get how the minute illness to the major, you shouldn't get stopped, no matter what fuss you're kicking up.
I'm a Muslim myself, and my mum leaves the Bible on Marcus's bed. The nurse has taken the Bible and thrown it on the side, saying, we don't believe in God, this shouldn't be here, and Marcus is going to die anyway, so he's not going to be needing it. I mean,
there's been too many problems. I even had a friend a couple of years ago who he came in because he had really bad headaches, and then it was like, okay, you've got migraines, it runs in your family and everything. 2 weeks later he was like, no, they're still there. They was like, well, you just have to take the paracetamol. They gave him cocodamol, like obviously stronger dose. 2 weeks later he died of a brain tumour.
But that's what they first initially done. Marcus had a headache.
Yeah, I know.
Dropped.
It's ridiculous. They don't do proper analysis. They just want to get you out.
They just antibiotics trying to take our tax money.
Because they get paid for it, they think, okay, well, we do whatever we can, which is the smallest thing. They take your blood pressure, check your temperature. That's it. Then you tell your symptoms. They give you paracetamol, and that's it. Literally, they think paracetamol can cure everything.
Why bother become a nurse if you can't bother to do the job
and
properly?
I think if you're going to have a job like this, your heart and soul has to be in it. You can't do it just for the money. You have to want to help people.
But compassion should come natural.
Yeah.
It's not even.
They're like robots.
It doesn't.
Empty shells. They're empty shells in there.
And then one day something's going to happen to them, and they're going to want people crying after them.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And if it was their family, they would be treating them. They wouldn't be chatting about you can't move, you can't do this, you can't do that.
They
you should
say
get her name.
Don't wear infectious aprons because he's gonna die. But the first day he came here, they said to my mum, you know what? Take all his stuff because he's not gonna need it. He's gonna die. And Pal said because spoken, they haven't got no say.
So that means you've got no control.
We're just
We've got
like,
no.
you know,
We're just little pawns. We're just little pawns.
We have no
We're just-
rights.
Nothing.
Our
We've got
rights don't
no
come in
rights.
anywhere. It's meant to be a
We
free
work for this
country.
country.
I'm here just to support the cause. I think it's awful what Mayday are doing, and one of my close friends is cousins with Marcus, so I'm just here to support everyone. So my next door neighbour actually died of cervical cancer. She was only 25, I believe, at the time, so she was a young girl studying law. She had the rest of her future ahead of her. She went to Mayday for a smear test. It came back as abnormal, but they sent her home and said come back in 6 months. She came back in 6 months, had another one, it came back as abnormal, but they said, you know, like, we don't have cause for concern, go home, just come back again. By this point she was in so much pain, she went to our doctors and they admitted her to hospital. It turned out she had full-blown cervical cancer, and it actually spread to her leg. She had a tumour in her leg, and she sadly passed away. So yeah, it was just an absolutely awful experience. My mum had a really bad experience with Mayday. She had suspected ovarian cancer. They gave her a hysterectomy, but they told her they'd taken everything out and they hadn't. So that caused loads of complications, and she had to go to have meetings with like the head of Mayday, all sorts. It was just awful. And I was taken by ambulance into Mayday in 2012. They came to my house and got me because I was so ill. They took me through to get assessed and then put me back in the waiting room, and I was waiting there for 4 hours, and the next day I got admitted to St George's and I had meningitis. But it was just awful. We kept saying, like, the fact we got taken by ambulance and they were still making me wait in the waiting room was just awful, and I just ended up going home, and that's why then I got admitted to St George's. But yeah, there's been so many stories.
I've been going to Mayday Hospital for so many years, and I've seen a lot of things happen to people who have been in casualty in A&E. Many years ago I went into Mayday with my son. He had a panic attack and they diagnosed him with epilepsy, treated him with epilepsy, and now they've decided that he never had epilepsy, it was just panic attacks. I've seen a woman with her child who was taken into the hospital in a seizure. They left her there for about 9 hours, then they transferred the child to St George's Hospital. I've known of people who have died in Mayday Hospital, been neglected and left on bed for hours, not being treated or looked after. Mayday is not a good hospital, it should be shut down, it's very dirty.
I'm here because, to be honest, if it is my kid, I'd be here standing my ground. How dare this hospital have the rights over a human life? We pay taxes, we pay government, do you know what I mean? We go to work and we pay certain taxes for certain stuff, okay? How dare you take the rights away from a parent? No person should take the rights away from any parent. So, he's in a comatized state, and they said if his heart stops again, they won't resuscitate him. But he's asked for his heart to be resuscitated. If I want to look after my kids, give me the chance to do that. How dare you? So they're saying injustice for Marcus, let Marcus live, because they're not giving the parents the opportunity, the right over his life. But then how can a hospital have the right over someone's life? Do they give birth to the child? Do they know he's 22 years old? Are you mad? Justice for Marcus! Let Marcus live!
We were made aware of the hospital refusing to treat him, so we came down on Wednesday, and that's when the protest was really, that's when it really kicked off basically. And within that time, that's when we got to hear the stories about what the hospital failing to actually provide care for Marcus, and what's really happened here. They've decided that, the hospital decided that they're not going to give him treatment because he's, they've come to that, they've just reached that conclusion. He's had a life-threatening illness. He's had a life-threatening illness, and they've reached a conclusion that he's on his deathbed, so they might as well just let him die. Hospitals are there, funded by taxpayers, to actually preserve life. So what makes them reach this decision? And then, as we've been involved with the campaign and starting to get to know what the facts of the case are, it's getting worse and worse. Facts that are coming out, and the hospital's negligence and the way that they've actually treated the family now, it's just getting worse and worse. It's becoming like it's like a horror story, and that's why we just follow the campaign through, and we're gonna stick with it. Croydon being the second biggest borough in London, it should have a main hospital that is able to accommodate the people in the area. You know, the fact that the hospital is being selective over which people are deserving of treatment and which people aren't deserving of treatment is shocking to think that they're being that selective, and without giving any reason. Because the reason they've given, to me, that's not a medical reason. Because they feel someone's going to die, that they're refusing to give treatment, that's the reason they're providing. To me, that's not a medical decision. That decision should be the decision of the family, right? And again, the families said that they want him to be resuscitated if his heart does fail. Another weird thing about the whole case is that you know, there's just the way that the hospitals refuse to communicate with the family. They've refused to allow them access, and they've made a lot of bizarre decisions which they've only reversed once we started making up noise about it. So why is it that hospital treatment or answers to the family depends on people having to come outside the hospital, make up a lot of noise before you could get answers? Why is that? Again, there's so many things that's wrong in the case. I'm just outraged. So someone that lives in the area, I don't trust this hospital again. So if me or my family, anyone in my family, if they suffer injury, what am I going to do? Because I'm definitely not going to take them here, seeing the experience of this family. And for all I know, there's a lot more other people that could have been affected by the poor mismanagement and malpractice of this hospital.
I think that following on from what you've said is that the decisions being made by the hospital are very questionable. The one point that gets to me is the fact that treatment was being denied until the demonstrations began. So therefore, if the demonstrations have changed the hospital's outlook on treatment, it goes to show that there's obviously an underlying issue in the fact that they were denied this treatment in the first place, because the treatment should have been offered without demonstration. You shouldn't have to demonstrate for treatment. So that in itself tells a big story about the conduct of the hospital. And in addition to that, if they're not honouring Marcus's wishes and what he said he wanted, that's the second point. And the third point is, finally, as everybody's saying, is that the family want the right to decide what happens to him, and the hospital are taking that right away from the family, which I think is unfair. Now, if that is hospital policy, that should be communicated to the family so that they can then say, okay, we understand the situation, we would like this, but at least meet and have this discussion. It seems as though the hospital are now having a closed door mentality, and they're not meeting the family and they're not communicating what's happening, what their decisions are and why their decisions are made. And it's for those points that we have to come here and demonstrate like this, and it shouldn't be the case.